I would go as far as to say that tattooing is so fucking popular more than ever today that there are still not enough artists to supply and deliver on the demand. I want to remind you that ancient scripture says your gift makes room for you. It doesn't matter if there's 10,000 other people in your city doing what you do. Your gift makes room for you.
Brothers and sisters, we can't thank you enough for all your love, your support, and your faithfulness. It's been brought to my attention, if you really want to do something to bless us, to thank us, apparently simply hitting the like button on YouTube would be more impactful than what I ever knew, let alone subscribing to us on YouTube if you're not already. And then over on Spotify and Apple, please leave us a review. All of your listening and your comments to us mean the world to us. And do us a favor and just hit like on YouTube and leave us reviews on Spotify and Apple. And we're going to continue to serve you with our whole heart. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Tattoo Guardians podcast. Once again, I am back in San Miguel, Mexico with my good brother and business partner, like iron sharpening iron. I'm sitting here again with the Andrew Crozy. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, my goodness. Oh, it's good to be back. Josh decided to surprise Nicole today with a surprise date. She knew it was podcast time. Since we got Andrew on, Josh was like, hey, I'd love to surprise Nicole and just take her out on a date. And I'm like, you go, boy. And so he's surprising her with a date right now. And it's reminded me the importance of us to simplify our life and make time on purpose for those closest to us. You know, me and my wife just now decided to take our date nights back. And she's here in San Miguel with me. Her and I haven't been anywhere in 6 years. You all know she's been bedridden for the past 2 and hasn't even hardly been out of the house. And she decided no matter what, let's live now. So she's here with us. She's resting right now while we podcast. And so I just want to encourage the rest of you, make time for your spouse on purpose to recreate your love. And that's what we're doing here today. That's what Josh is doing with Nicole. And we love you, Mr. Josh Carlton. We love you, Nicole Carlton. And so what we got to share with you today? You know, I've let Andrew know I usually just open to what falls on my heart. And something Andrew has, been stirring within him lately is these topics all around influence and persuasion. And he shared a little with me last night. Andrew, I'd like to pass the mic over to you. If you just open the conversation on influence and persuasion.
Dude, thank you. Great intro. I think influence and persuasion is the number one skill set or skill sets for a person to build. And it's not just about influencing another person, but also influencing ourselves with the words, with the actions. And there are 3 levels of influence.
Okay.
And what we need to do first is be able to influence ourselves. And then we can influence one-to-one. Okay. And then we can influence one-to-many. And I'm sure a lot of people in your audience have a mission to bring this world. Everybody has an innate mission to bring this world, their dharma, whatever you want to call it. And the first step is influencing ourselves, that we can influence one-to-one with the people that we're interacting with, bringing into our shops that we're tattooing and people that we would like to tattoo, building the skill set of influencing one-to-one, and then being able to bring that one to the many. And we have so many tools at our disposal nowadays with the marketing tools, social media, all of that stuff, where we can influence one-to-many, or it might be speaking from stage, which you do quite a bit. So going through that, the different stages of influence, how to influence, and how to do it in a way that is not manipulative.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
And relationship building, which is influence in itself, which you're such a master at.
People don't care what you know till they know that you care. People aren't always going to remember what you said, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. And how did you influence? What type of influence did you have on them? How did you leave them a feeling about themselves? What type of relationship are you even creating? It's the art form of tattooing that brings so many of us together. It's the art of tattooing that birthed this show. But the real art form that turns me on is the art of building relationships. I love when Zig Ziglar said, you help enough people in life get what they want, you're going to be all right. Influence, impact, givers get. We do not give to get. It just comes with the territory. I lose myself in the service of others. And by me giving to you, I simultaneously am filled, right? Influence. But this goes back to the first level of influence, is influencing myself to a degree so that I can even have an influence on the rest of the world. And I realize that's a continual cycle. It's not just like, oh, I influenced myself stage 1, so now I'm on to stage 2. I'm always dancing in all 3 of those stages. When it's time for me to go influence many, I have to first influence myself to prepare myself for the many, right? It's an ongoing deal. Man.
And to go with that, another good quote is, seek first to understand, then he can be understood. And it all comes down to question asking.
My God.
It's not only the questions we ask other people, but the questions we're asking ourselves.
Come on, Andrew.
And one of my favorite questions I ask myself every morning, it's in my journal, what would make today great? And I'm opening up those possibilities for myself to create my day. And I'm influencing myself in that moment by asking that question. And guess what? My days have been become incredibly better from just asking that simple question every morning.
My God.
How do I influence my mind? How do I influence my biology? How do I influence my actions? How do I align my thoughts, feelings, and actions to direct the results I actually want out of life?
My goodness. And by you living those questions, it's all focused on what you want, who you want to be, because we can all get so riddled with all the thoughts that start to paralyze us in the land of lack and fear, especially tattoo artists or in all walks of life. If your books aren't totally full, worry, lack, fear, and doubt can start to set in. Oh my God. And it changes you energetically. So now how you're showing up in the world, even if you think, I need to make another post. But what is the energy behind the post? You could make a post trying to generate clientele, but if the post is riddled with fear and lack behind it, does that matter, right?
Content is consumed in the same energy in which it is created. And my old buddy Arnie used to tell me, content is a lot like a fart. If you force it, it's going to be shit. But if we are influencing our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, that content starts to naturally flow out of us and people start to resonate with it.
Right.
So the question is, how do we influence our thoughts, feelings, and actions?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what produces our results in life.
Right.
And the first thing is like our feelings, our energy. How do we influence that? And how do we shift? How do we change our energy? How do we change our feelings? All it is a biological reaction in our body from the hormones being produced in our body. So how do we influence our hormones? And maybe I'm going too fucking deep on this. I don't know.
That's all right.
But there are things that we can do every single day to influence our biology so we are more grounded and we put more space between our thoughts so that we can actually direct our thoughts to where we want them to go, right? So I take a cold shower every single morning. What does that do? Boom, zaps my body, zaps my biology. So I'm just in the moment. And first it's freaking out. And when I'm going into a cold shower, do I want to go into that shower? Fuck no. Every single time I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I do the Mel Robbins tactic of 3, 2, 1, counting down, and then I hop in.
Gotcha.
There's no thinking about it. Just 3, 2, 1, I'm in.
I think that's important because you don't always have to want to do the thing that you're supposed to do, that you need to do. It's okay to not feel like wanting to do it. That's okay, right?
100%. And is this aligned with my most evolved self, my best self? Is it something that I know it will benefit my future? Yes. Going cold showers, meditation, breath work, every single one of those. Do I go into it where it's like, this is going to be the most fun thing ever? Fuck no. But I know it will make me more present. I know it will make me more grounded. I know I will treat other people better when I am feeling better. And those things allow me to feel better. And they allow me to put space between my thoughts so I can be aware of my thoughts and direct my thoughts and influence my thoughts. So it starts with the feeling. It starts with the energy. So I ask everybody out there, what can you do to put space between your thoughts, to be present, to be grounded, so that you actually change your hormones in your body to release more serotonin, the happy joy molecule that comes from presence? When we're walking around in a park or in nature, we're releasing more serotonin. Our thoughts become more clear because we're putting more space between that. And it first starts with influencing our feelings and our energy so we can be more clear. If everybody just did a cold shower every single day, did breath work every single day, did meditation for 5-10 minutes each, they would be influencing their biology on a level that would be shifting them from a stress to cortisol state that most of us are in to a serotonin dopamine state of being focused, motivated, and filled with happiness and joy. And that's with all my clients, that's where we start. Where can we shift your energy and shift your hormones so that we can put space between those thoughts so then we can influence those thoughts?
The rate. And so the 3 simples, easy things anyone can do is cold showers, breath work, and meditation, right? Something that also has always helped me, it's as simple as, do we focus on what we want or what we don't want, right? And so something that always helps me is vision, or me doing the best to create the best version of myself that I want to step into and actually give the world. So while I'm doing the breath work and the meditation, and guys, meditation can look different. Sometimes my meditation is putting in my favorite music in my ears, and it's me, God, and this song. It's okay. There's not just one way for you to be internally operated on, and you know you the best. And so don't pigeonhole yourself into what this breath work and meditation's got to look like. You do you, but turn yourself over to it. But in that practice, somewhere my mind will start to go and see vision of the life I do want, what I do want to step into. And through the meditation, it starts to reopen up all the possibility, and lack and it not really being obtainable will start to fall away and subside. And my focus goes back to what's really possible, what I'm really called to, what we're really stepping into. And my God, all these other things is just resistance. And that it's a good thing, and that it's okay. And it is not for you to judge yourself by feeling a certain way, by having these negative thoughts. That can be resistance. That is okay. Observe that. Notice that. This is where the breath work and the meditation will come in for you to put space between you and all those yuck thoughts that is trying to convince you that they're of you. And they're not. Just because you have a negative thought, don't kick your own ass and judge yourself as if that's you. Jeff, that's why I want you to be the observer, not the judge. But these practices will help you make the distinctions. But again, I think it's important for us to also have something to glom onto, right?
Totally. And something really simple right now, the easiest way to shift our biology is to breathe. And there was a study done that we are now taking like 20 to 30 breaths per minute. Which is from the early 1900s, they were taking 6 breaths per minute. So back in the day, they were breathing so much slower. They were so much calmer.
Mm.
And now with social media, with living in big cities, we just have this shallow breath. And we wonder, like, why am I so anxious all the time? Why am I stressed out? Not fucking breathing.
Mm.
What's the easiest way to switch our biology? It's through the breath.
Mm.
A buildup of cortisol comes from not breathing. And the antidote to cortisol, the stress hormone, is serotonin. And serotonin comes from deep breaths. So that's something everybody on this podcast can do right now, is you can just focus on your breath and do a 4 count in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what that's doing is shifting your biology, but it's also when we do box breathing or we do a pattern in and pattern out, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, we're actually lining up our brain and our heart to be in coherence. But most of the day, and especially me back in the day, I couldn't, my brain and my heart couldn't communicate because my breath was all over the place or it was very shallow. And it's just the healing power of the breath.
This is so weird. There are people all over the globe that pay thousands of dollars to be mentored by this man, to be coached. They come to him like, man, can you help me build my 7-figure business? Others come to him and be like, man, I've been doing multiple 7 figures. Can you help me break through to 8 figures? I mean, there are men and women, entrepreneurs all over the globe that pay thousands just to get coaching from him. They come to him like, help me with my business. And this is where he starts with them. For all you that are listening under the sound of our voice or watching us on YouTube right now, you may think, man, I need some value. How am I going to build my clientele? How am I going to just blow up my tattoo? This is cool. I like breath work and shit, but man, I'm in the trenches right now. I got bills. I'm trying to just win right now. Can you give me something to help me fucking with my marketing, my business? And then, yeah, I'll go to the break room and breathe 4 seconds, but really help, right? Like, this is some bullshit. I need real help, right? Do you remember the version of you, Andrew, building business, and you were going to burn out, whatever, you didn't know? Do you remember the version of you where you were looking for something, and maybe someone tried to come to you and be like, bro, it's in your breath. And you're like, shring, dude, I'm trying to build real business here. Once I get some more time freed up my bank account, right, we can come back and talk about breath, right? Do you remember a version of you that was like, psh?
Dude, all the fucking time up until about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I learned that it's our thoughts, feelings, and actions that produce our results. And if I'm just learning strategies and tactics, I'm just learning about the actions. And that's why people can join programs and have wildly different results because they're just getting the actions. But how do you think? How do you shift how you're feeling and your energy so you can actually take action on the information that you're getting? We have ChatGPT, we have all the courses in the world, we have YouTube to learn all this shit, but how do you align that information with your thoughts and your feelings so you actually take action on it?
Man. Yep.
Right. And we'll get into the strategies, tactics, all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the energy feeling side. The other one is just influencing our thoughts. It starts with the energy because I used to have all these fucking running thoughts, especially when I was in college. I was not taking care of my energy. I was taking Vyvanse. I was taking Adderall. I was drinking too much. And I couldn't put the space between my thoughts so I could influence my thoughts. So it got me the results that I didn't want out of my life. And it starts with energy and then our thoughts. What are our thought anchors? What are our core beliefs that we go back to? What's the mantra that we say to ourselves? So when we're all scattered all over the place, take a deep breath, go back to the mantra. I'm an antenna and vehicle for love and truth. That is mine. So every thought that we have produces a hormone in our body that shifts our energy, right? I'm an intended vehicle for love and truth, presence, grounding, serotonin, dopamine. But also, there are times where I'm scattered, I'm working on stuff, and I'll have these thoughts, oh, fuck, I gotta respond to that client. Boom. Negative thought, cortisol, stress, not getting the result I actually want. So I can notice that thought, but what is actually going to drive me to be productive to give that client the right result? It's changing my state first, my energy, and then my thought. I'm an intended vehicle for love and truth, and I will naturally come up with a good response to that person coming from a place of love instead of coming from a place of cortisol and stress. That's when we say the shit we don't want to say.
Man, I love it. I love that.
It's too much.
No, it's good, brother. It's real good. You know, you're even talking about living into the question. And again, for a lot of our listeners, might not be like, yeah, dude, I realize all the thoughts I've been thinking and questions like aren't serving me. They're riddled with lack. I'm afraid. Man, am I going to have to go get another job? Like, is that the question to live in, right? And so I've even people, you know, because when you get in your head, like you said, disconnected from your heart, confusion sets in. And then people are like, I know I'm living in the wrong questions, but what's a good question to live into again? Like just mass confusion, right? And like you said, anchoring back to that mantra, sometimes people need questions to anchor them back into, to reframe. Negative thought, negative question. Oh, I'm not going to judge, I'm going to notice. Let me replace it with a better thought. A question is actually on my own team, right? So simply like, even with our tattooers marketing right now, instead of asking like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my post? Oh, what's going to happen? Am I going to have to get another job? Like, what's going on? You know, what are better questions to live into? You know?
Questions open up possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of our questions determine the quality of our life.
Yep. And the quality. Yep. That's right.
What would make today great?
Right. A question I wake up to every day is what magic is in store today? What magic is going to happen today? You know, and so instead of asking questions about like, why aren't my posts getting much engagement? What's wrong with my post? Am I not posting right? None of those questions are the best questions to live into. How do we reframe? Like, you know, what's a better post to make? What type of energy do I need to become when I post? And where is my tribe? Where is my people? The good news still about being a tattoo artist, unlike any other business, is you don't need everybody. You just need the right somebody. You don't need to make 10,000 sales. You need one today. You don't need everyone, just the right one. But when you fall in confusion and lack, you start to think, oh, well, you don't know, guys. My town's oversaturated with artists. There's new shops popping up everywhere. And you decide that could be lack and competition. You're going to throw in your excuse of oversaturation mixed with the economy, and that is the influence you're choosing to influence your own state of being. Guess what? You're right. But this is why a new shop can pop up next to you, and an artist who isn't even tattooing yet can show up in a year and blow right by you and have all the clients. Was there a lack of clients, or was it a lack of your own beliefs? Right? Was it a lack of client, or was it a belief that there are lack of clients? Which is it? I would go as far as to say that tattooing is so fucking popular more than ever today that there are still not enough artists to supply and deliver on the demand. I want to remind you that ancient scripture says your gift makes room for you. It doesn't matter if there's 10,000 other people in your city doing what you do. Your gift makes room for you. Do you think in your town the first hair salon that popped up and then all of a sudden there was another hair salon, they're like, oh God, it's oversaturated? No, there's a lot of people with hair, right? And now there's a lot of people with skin that want to express art on their skin unlike ever before. There is no lack. Abundance did not pack up and move out of your town, right? This is good news.
So, better questions for you to live into. My God, it don't matter if there's other people. My gift room makes room for me. So where are my people? Where is my tribe? Who must I become to step into the best version of me to get ready for them, right? There's so many questions for you to create and then prepare. Create and then prepare as if you're really getting down on your best life right now. How can you prepare for what magic to happen?
So good. And the beautiful thing about this, 99% of the population is not doing the internal work. We're so externally focused, but when we shine that light inwards and make the change, we attract what we are, not what we want. So when we change our energy, when we change who we are internally, that's when we start to flow instead of force and attract the things that we actually want in our life by changing the internal.
My God. My God. I love
Thoughts, our feelings, our actions.
I love that. I love that. And so again, something to glom onto. This is why I think vision is great. This is why I think I am statement. This is why you're getting clear on a mantra. Something to anchor yourself back. We can sum this up by your truth.
And you get to make it what it is.
What is your truth?
What do you feel in your body? How I identify my I am statements, my questions, I feel it in my body where I'm like, whoa, that's it. And I went through 6 years of not feeling a single fucking thing. But there were micro moments where it was like, oh, I feel something. That was truth, but I ignored it. I ignored the feelings of like, oh, I feel something in my body. But then I would just keep doing the same thing that I was doing because I wasn't creating space between the notes to make the music. And over this experience of working on myself and also working on a business, I've evolved to a place where now I can trust my instincts. I can trust those feelings and I can flow so much more with life instead of feeling like, you know, when I was feeling like I was constantly forcing everything, nothing was working, that I would never amount to anything for so long. And it's just because I wasn't focused on my energy being my number one priority. When my cup overflows, when my cup overflows, spills over to others. And I was just in a place where I had all these running negative thoughts. No shit, I wasn't going to where I wanted to go because I wasn't taking care of my energy. I wasn't being mindful of my thoughts. And that is what drove the results that I was getting out of life. That was what was driving my actions.
Yeah.
And through this experience, I've learned through what we're sharing with you right now, how to shift the internal so the external shifts around me.
And what I'm hearing you say, so many of y'all acting like you just waiting on God, source, the universe to do it all for you. Man, I want, like you just wanting it to be done for you. I've been waiting. I made that post and I'm just waiting. Man, I've been working hard. I'm waiting on something like you waiting on, you know? And what I just heard him say is you are co-creators with God and the whole universe. God ain't going to do it for you. He'll do it with you. The universe ain't just going to do it all for you are a co-creator. You are a creator as well.
I used to listen to this stuff and I used to think it was all fucking bullshit. And then it makes so much sense now, putting in the work into it, that our identity is the number one driving force for our actions and our results in life. When we adopt the identity of a tattoo artist, we start tattooing. Because that's our identity. I am a tattoo artist, right? But if we're always saying, I need, I want, which I used to all the fucking time, we're not saying we have it in this moment. We're not saying that's our identity, so we're not taking the action. But if we change those needs and those wants to I am, and we really just install that into ourselves,
My God.
we start to act in that way. So what I'll do in the cold shower is saying I'm a billionaire and really feel it in that moment of hyper presence. I call it imprinting. And it needs to be in those moments where we're hyper present meditation, breath work, cold showers, saunas, anything.
Yeah.
And imprint those identity statements into ourselves so we naturally act in accordance to that.
Man. Oh, like you said, we attract what we are. And when we step into our truth of who we really are, right? True identity, and operate from that place of being, everything we attract and create is different. Talk about like different universes. You know, I was even talking with you about the neighborhood I live in, right? And on the street. And I can look at one people, they live in this house, and the people next door, and they live in this house. We all live in the same street. The houses are around the same price. But the realities of the people who live there are in different fucking worlds. One is stressed out on the grind, signed up for a life on a hamster wheel that they do not love, you know. And then the home next to them are so fulfilled with work-life balance. They're at every kid's ball game and they love it. And they're so complete and so fulfilled. The outsides of their life and their houses look the same, but the insides of the people who live there are so different. Their identities are different, right? One's in complete joy and peace. The other's riddled in stress and fear and lack, right?
And that person who's riddled in fear and lack, if they're aware of it, that I only have one life. This isn't how I want to live it. And they take the steps to imprint the new identity, to take care of their energy, to surround themselves with people that love them and fill them up. And they take the action towards that. It doesn't feel, in their body, it won't feel immediately, I'm a millionaire. Fuck no. But over time, as they continue to imprint, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, and they start taking the actions towards it.
Yeah. And whatever that is for you, I am fully funded. I am fully booked with dream clients. I am at peace with work-life balance, whatever the case may be, right?
I am a loving father.
Yeah.
We want to be closer to our children. Imprinting the identity is first, and then taking the steps towards that action. The more we imprint that identity, and the more we start to see it in reality when we pick up our kid and they give us a loving look on their face, that identity will be imprinted even more, and we'll start taking more action towards being that super loving father that we want to be.
Dude, 2 years ago, before we started this podcast, one mantra Josh wanted us to take on to start this show is, he said, I want to leave tattooing better than when I found it. That was something he was imprinting on himself and on us and on this show. That was 2 years ago. Do you all think Joshua Carlton has done anything in the past 2 years, let alone the 34, to leave tattooing better than when he found it? Has this show left you better off than before you found it, right? But he started the imprinting of that in our hearts a couple years ago.
That's where it all starts. What do we desire?
Come on.
And then what identity do we need to adopt?
Something I say all the time is the desires of your heart are foreknowledge of your future. Scripture says God gives us the desires of our heart. Most people think I pray and ask long enough and God will give me the desire I'm asking. No, that's not what that's. Where do you think the desire already came from in the first place? It's already been placed on the inside of you on purpose for your purpose. Where do you think the desire came from? It's foreknowledge of your future. You got the desire that is evidence you were meant to have. Do it be the thing or else you wouldn't have the desire. There's your permission.
Everything is divine.
Come on.
I did not believe that for the longest time. Like, we are talking right here for a reason. We're in this moment for a reason. Everybody here is listening to this podcast for a reason. And my God, once I started to adopt that everything is divine, everything is happening for a reason, something inside of me just started to flow more naturally. My brain started to connect the dots so more easily. And just life has become so much more beautiful. And it's like when I was a year ago, I was at my parents' house. I was 29 years old. I had built couple multiple 7-figure businesses, and I was going through my closet and I found an old journal from when I was 24 years old. When I was living in Chicago, I remember writing in that journal on this big beanbag I had, big black beanbag, and I remember feeling inside of my body, everything was scattered. I just felt so anxious, but I was writing down everything that I desired. That I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be, I thought I was a teacher at the time. It became a coach. I wanted to make $200,000 by the time I was 27 years old. And that I wanted to have a 6-pack, and I wanted to, there were a few other things on there. But I wrote that down when I was 24, everything that I desired. By the time I was 27, I don't know why I picked 3 years. I just picked 3 years. By the time I was 27, I had already created a 7-figure company. I had gone through working out and transforming my body. I had a 6-pack that I was proud of. And I was a coach, which I wrote down teacher, but I was a coach.
Yeah.
The same fucking thing. And I was able to impact so many more lives. And I think if I hadn't actually written that down, that it would have just been stuck in the head. And I think that was a big turning point in my life.
And when you wrote it down, did you close it up? You didn't find it till later? Did you ever revisit it?
I didn't fucking look at
My God.
it. Can you believe that?
It's awesome.
The power of writing things down.
Is written. So shall it be. My God. Oh, I love that. And
And I have the picture that I could probably share with your audience too.
okay.
Of that, if they want to see it.
You said remember. Because it's cognizant. If I asked you a question about a family member or a friend at all, ever in your past, you're going to go back through your Rolodex and then you'll remember them. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Because you're going back and now it becomes cognizant. But it's only cognizant because it's based off an already experience. Right? And so you recognize the person I was asking you about in your own Rolodex, in your own head. You recognize them, you remember them, it becomes cognizant. Oh yeah, I know that. I remember that. I remembered writing that down on my beanbag. It was cognizant. The beanbag was black, right? You remember, you recognize that moment. But oftentimes, when we are called into a new level, into a new place, the desires of your heart, you know what you want, but you don't know the how. You don't always know the when. You don't know what it's going to look like. This is where we're choosing faith and trust in the process. But oftentimes when we're called on to the next level, it's not cognizant. And if God's got a part of it, it will be unrecognizable. It will not be something you can recognize because it's new territory. So it's okay for you to be like, my God, I've never walked here before. I don't know what I'm doing. Welcome to growth. Welcome. But you will be shown along the way. Clarity comes in the doing, right? But it is okay for it to feel like the land of the unknown. This is beyond my Rolodex. I have no cognitive past experience to even make this foreign land recognizable. And I want you to know that this is a good thing.
Be your future self now. This could be a turning point. This is a turning point for a lot of you guys listening. Just writing down your desires, taking care of your energy, imprinting that identity into your mind will shift the way that you act, how you feel, how you think. Just start with writing down what you truly desire. And what are the identities? What are the I am statements to imprint? And from there, you don't need to know the how. But once you start, and we'll go into this section a little bit later, once you start communicating these things with the people in your life, people want to help. It's built into human nature. They will help you achieve it. When I wanted to get a 6-pack, I told my friend in Chicago, Kevin, yo, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 90 days. I'm going to the gym. Do you want to come with me? He's like, fuck yes, I do. And we just started working out together. And that is when I got that. I lost 20 pounds in 90 days when I was 24 years old and got that 6-pack. I checked that one off the list right away.
My God, it's so important for us to share our desires with others, so to give them, God, source, the universe, the right people and resources that are already around you that love you and want to support you. You know, I remember before I opened Aisle 9 Tattoos, which has become a really successful shop. And we're real proud of the impact we've had, let alone the dope tattoos and getting to be a part of the rest of people's lives in that way. But when it was time for me to start that studio, I wasn't in a position with funding and any of that. And just me sharing, I had one client who believed in me so much, happened to own his own construction company. He's like, Matt, you're called to do this. I believe in you. And he built all of Aisle 9 and entered into a handshake deal, $100,000 handshake, just like our grandpa's. There was no contract, no nothing. My word on his. And it was a $100,000 deal. He put it all up on the front end and built the studio. And we were in agreements for me to pay him back over the course of 3 years of being open, right? And a way was made where there didn't seem to be a way. All because I shared or talked about a desire or a vision with one person. Just to back your point up, sir.
How do I build relationships? First, it starts with identifying what we want, defining who we are, influencing ourselves.
So let's break that down. Defining what we want. What type of people do you want to even associate with? To run with, to build you up, that you can build up to, like iron sharpening iron, to inspire you, to empower you versus suck the life out of you, right?
Yeah. If you just do these little exercises that I'm sharing, this what I share with my clients, it will shift the way you think about yourself and think about other people. So, for example, what I like to share with my clients is developing character values.
Okay.
What are the character traits that you really value within yourself and other people? This has helped me change my social circle from a place where I'm not lit up by anybody to I'm lit up by everybody. Like, that's why Matt is in my life. Fucking lit up. He nails all the character traits. Like, he's driven. He's grounded. He's funny. Those are my top 3. And like, now I have a filter to look through of, am I being driven? Am I being grounded? And am I being funny? Am I being humorous? Am I being playful?
Keeping it light.
And then I get to see that within myself and identify those are the things that I want to embody. And is that who I'm surrounding myself with? And it starts with defining that. And then we have clarity on the people that we want to surround ourselves with, who we want to be. And then naturally it starts to evolve, like, oh, that person isn't that funny. I mean, like, I'll talk to him for a little bit. I don't really want to hang out with him a whole lot, you know? But most people don't have those simple things to find that change the direction of her life's entire.
And the good news is you all already know what those things are, but maybe you just haven't taken a moment to clarify them with yourself.
Write them down and, you know.
This is why getting clear on what we do want and just living that life will by default start to deal with all the shit in your life and everyone that you don't want. Right?
And we were talking about, once we identify our desires and we can share that with other people, they naturally start to help. And we naturally start to build up this tribe, this community, us helping each other achieve our missions, all of that stuff. It sounds simple, but that's how it works.
My God.
Not getting lost in the complexity of all these different things that we can do. It's just, at the core, who are we as a human being? And who do we want to surround ourselves with?
Dude, and last night you were bringing up, you said, man, I wish for everyone that they find their community, just because community alone is so important, you know?
And for me, it started working on myself, quitting drinking, losing 20 pounds in 90 days. And then guess what? I built up value within myself. I became more valuable to other people. And what is a relationship but an exchange of value at its very core? And if we haven't built up value within ourselves, how do we expect to attract those people that will help us just compound value within one another?
My God, dude. Dude, it's so good. Oh, and you're right. It goes either way. Because I find myself when I'm surrounded by a bunch of yuck, and, you know, after a while, it starts to make me feel yuck. When I surround myself with great, loving people that, like, see all possibility, the veils are removed from me, too. It matters. For all our listeners, I mean, we have Tattoo Business Mastery, which is a wonderful community. Just ask anyone in it. We've got this podcast. Joshua Carlton's Everything I Know is a great community. Our brother Ryan Roy, our brother Russ Abbott, like just recently have been great communities that are being created just for the tattoo industry. And man, it matters. And it matters for us. Even the communities we've created, it fills me. The TBM students fucking fill me and teach me as I fill and teach them.
For me, I'm just investing into communities. I just joined Peter Sage's program around consciousness and spirituality. That's the side of myself I really want to build. So I want to surround myself with those people.
So you mean even though you're a teacher and a coach, you still pay for coaching and teach? You buy courses and take programs too?
The best investments. I spent over $500,000 in coaching, mentorship, and mastermind.
In your own, like invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it started with a $1,000 course. Then I did $10,000 coaching program. Then I joined a $100,000 mastermind back in 2018 called Project Nuclear with Scott Olford. And the distance between where we're at and where we want to go is just a matter of building skill sets within ourselves. And the fastest way I've found to build skill sets is from having a community of like-minded people that are all talking about that thing and having a mentor that can help me shorten the learning curve.
Come on.
To build those skill sets and become the man that I want to become.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And guys, again, we're co-creators. You do not have to do it alone. I didn't do this podcast alone. I'm not doing it alone right now. I own and operate an online business, but yet I still do not own and operate my own computer. How the fuck you got an online business and don't even...
I had to turn on this computer.
We're using Andrew's computer. I don't own one, right? And what I'm getting at is when you know what you're called to do, you know what you want, the how will reveal itself. First of all, don't be dismayed when it doesn't show up the way you thought it was supposed to. It usually don't. That's one. Two is you're not meant to be an island and you don't have to know it all and do everything. You just have to learn, like you said, enough to know what you need. So he said, develop the skill sets. Well, I've been developing skill sets and I'll always be. But part of that is me developing my skill sets is becoming aware of the skill sets that I'm not good at and aren't even meant to develop, but they are needed. Who is that? What is that resource? But I had to develop myself enough to even know that this other role is needed. Where's my people? Where's my team? Building a team. The right resources, the right people will come into your life as you're ready. When the student is ready, the teachers will appear. Ancient scripture says he's a light unto your path, a light unto your feet. I wish I knew how it was all going to work out here. Can I see out there? Nope, I'm in pitch darkness, but there's a lamp at my feet. I'm going to bend over and click it on. Bing. Now can I see way out there? Nope, but I can see the first 3 steps in front of me. And I'm going to take them in perfect action. I don't have this all perfectly figured out, but I can see the first 3 steps. I'm taking them and I'm trusting the process. The lamp came with me. Now can I see out there how it's all going to work out? No, but I can see the next 3 steps to 10, right? My goodness.
You want to move on to one-to-one?
Yeah.
Right. We went deep into influence. So now one-to-one, my favorite framework is passion, intimacy, commitment. We only need to move through 3 stages with people. You need to build up passion with them.
Okay.
So if we're at a bar, right, we see that pretty girl over there. She built up passion with me. Maybe it's her dress that she's wearing, how she's looking, her energy, and starting to build up passion. If my energy's good, I'm looking good, and she looks over at me, she might have passion for me, right? And then that first line, what are we doing to build up passion with that person, right? In the marketing context, how are we building up passion with what we're posting on social media? That testimonial, where it builds up passion for that person to want to work with you because that person in that testimonial has a very similar situation to that person. Or that tattoo that you post on Instagram that's just freaking beautiful. You're building up passion. That's what you're doing right now. And then the intimacy phase. So once we've built up passion, which can be immediately, could be a big spark, and we just kind of want to continue to build the passion. How do we build intimacy? Intimacy really comes down to the questions that we're asking and the stories that we're telling. So we want to know their needs, their wants, their desires, their current situation, their past experiences. And we want to also be sharing those with other people to build up intimacy. If I knew something about, like, just when we're sharing stories and you're talking about your childhood and everything that you went through, and everything that you've done, we're building up intimacy together. When I'm sharing my stories around growing up in Ohio and living in Mentor from 0 to 7 years old, and how my dad can kind of be reserved and like sad from time to time. Boom, we're building up intimacy together.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it's the commitment stage. Once we've built up intimacy and we've built up passion, what's the call to action? Is it getting down on one knee and marrying that woman? Is it inviting somebody into your tattoo shop to commit to something? So inside of relationships, have I built up enough passion with this person to really dive into deep intimacy questions and stories? Have I provided enough questions and stories so we built up that intimacy so that we can move to a commitment together?
Love it.
Yeah.
Great. And you're telling me any of us listening right now can create and cultivate those 3 stages on our Instagram?
On our Instagram.
My God. Okay.
Boom. We build up passion from the beautiful art that you create, whether it's a picture or it's a story. Or
whether it's the art, whether it's the why, whether it's the impact, whether it's the impact it had on the client. So many, the story around just the piece. So many artists be like, yo, did this today. Boom, get at me.
Get that.
Right? And that's cool for a little bit, but at the end of the day, tattoos don't pay you, people do. And what he's saying, like, how are you posting to induce passion in the viewer and the consumer, even if it's your passion? And you're so passionate, like me, you just did a little 4-leaf clover on an ankle, but the passion you got around it and what this 4-leaf clover really meant to the client and therefore meant to you and the honor of you getting to be a part of the rest of this person's life, even though it's just a 4-leaf clover, right? The passion, is their passion coming through you? That's who I want to work with, someone that's passionate and faithful even in the little things, right? And in that, moving on to intimacy in our post.
And here's what might happen too. You've built up passion, the person hits you up and you're like, I want that 4-leaf clover. It looks really cool. Cool, come to my shop. Some people might, but others need a little bit more intimacy.
Yeah.
Man, why do you want a 4-leaf clover? Well, I want a 4-leaf clover because I was born in Ireland. And I want to remember that. Oh, that's fucking awesome. What was Ireland like?
Yeah.
Just building up some intimacy with that person, and then you can ask for the commitment. And you can say, that's awesome, man. I would love to tattoo you and give you that experience of remembering Ireland for the rest of your life on your wrist. I've got a spot open on Tuesday at 2:00. You want to come in then?
Yep. Right. And then again, just building the relationship. Something I always teach TBM students is the fortune is in the follow-up, and the difference between going deep versus wide, right? Going deep with somebody versus wide. So many of us will make a post in passion, and then we go wide on to try and make and think of another passionate post instead of and abandoning the last one. Going on like next, oh, that one only got 100 likes, so I'm right. But no, who liked and who commented? And did you go deep with them? Did you start to go deep with them? Well, some people will say things like, oh man, that's exhausting, right? But what's more exhausting? Just taking the time to go deep with one post, or abandoning it, whether you realize you have or not, and trying to think of the next 10 posts, and none of them are producing results, and now you're worn out and riddled in fear and lack because your posting isn't working. That's more exhausting to me.
I used to do that, and my God, that was more exhausting. Not getting the results that I wanted, even though I had the frameworks, I had the support. I just didn't commit to going deeper.
It can be frustrating as a coach, as a teacher, even when I've taught some how to go deep, and they're still not doing it.
They are probably just like I used to be, not taking care of my energy, so I didn't have the energy and I didn't have the thoughts for it. So I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah. But it's weird because the analogy I like to use, this may not be the best analogy, but us tattoo artists or anyone's trying to build a clientele in a business, let's consider if you were a fisherman, right? And you were trying to build your storehouses of fish. If you say you're a fisherman, you say you want to catch fish today, why are you casting a pole in the water and then walking away? What fisherman casts the net and then leaves and never pulls it in? What man is assigned to a post and then abandons his post? Y'all are making posts and then abandoning your post. You're throwing your net in the water and then leaving and not even pulling it in. And you're going to talk about like, there ain't no fish. I'm going to go cast another net somewhere else. But then you leave the net.
But once you start pulling them in and start getting those results, it's upward momentum from there.
Come on. Any comment, any like on your one post to go deep with them, to drop in. That's your bobber. That's your bobber starting to dangle, right?
And people that say, oh, I don't like social media. I don't like spending time on social media. Is social media using you, or are you using it? Are you using it to connect deeply with people and create a transformation for that person?
Come on.
It's just binary. If it's using me, and I'm on my phone, I'm like, oh shit, it's using me. I'm throw it away.
Okay.
But if I'm using it to connect deeply with another person, create a transformation, that's how social media can be used for good. And it's just our decision.
That's right. That's right. Ooh, I love that.
And one thing that I wanted to share is that a powerful quote that I learned from one of my mentors is that it's about using frameworks, not guesswork. I used to have so much guesswork, not know how things stitch together. And what we're sharing here are the frameworks that have been the most powerful for me, influencing my life, and in terms of influence in relationship, passion, intimacy, commitment. I know the framework. Then it's just, okay, what stage am I in? Okay, what do I do in this stage? Once I know the framework, work becomes a hell of a lot easier. So if you guys haven't written down some of these yet, I invite you to go back and write down these frameworks and keep them in front of you so that when you're on social media, you can be reminded, oh, have I built up enough passion with this person?
Okay.
Have I built up enough intimacy? Are they ready for the commitment?
That's right.
Just take the frameworks and leave the guesswork at the side. Life can be so complex outside of us, but if we're just building up frameworks into our arsenal, we simplify life so much.
And to test this, I would almost challenge you to only make one post this week and see how deep you can go with that one post with the people that did like and comment, and to try and go intimate and build a relationship and get a few clients out of that one post before you give yourself permission to make another. Just as like a test to see, like, if you only were allowed to make one post this week, how much could you milk and extract and follow up from that one post if you weren't even allowed to make another one? If you weren't allowed to make 10, how deep could you go with the one?
It could be as simple as posting a piece of your art. Somebody responds, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. What do you find beautiful about it? Just continue on the conversations. Just questions open up possibilities. The more questions that we can ask, the more possibilities.
Did you notice he didn't just say thank you? He said thank you and then asked a question. What'd you like about it the most? Keeping it possibility open. Those you just like, oh, okay, thanks. Someone would be like, fire, I'd be like, bet, right? You're closing off possibility. Thank you. Who are you? Thank you. What draws, what's this coming up for you? What resonates with you the most? Whatever.
Thank you. Do you have a flower tattoo as well that looks like this? No. Why are you looking for one? Open up possibilities. Just continue to ask questions. And sometimes we need to share stories back. But it's just a question and story game, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Some people, and you got to remember, guys, most people are intimidated to hit you up. Most people are intimidated to meet you. There are some people that may want to come see your studio, may want to meet you, maybe have been, but for whatever reason, still a little scared, still a little intimidated. This is why it's on you to create intimacy and safety. You are approachable.
Here's another framework. The two things that I'm always looking to build with people: safety and trustworthiness. How can I make this person feel safe in how I'm portraying myself and communicating? And how can I show up as a trustworthy person? If I'm leaving comments unread and they're pouring their heart out, they're sharing something super deep, then I'm not going to be trustworthy. But who are the people that we want to work with? The people that allow us to feel safe and we can trust them.
Come on.
I'm just looking for those two things inside of any relationship. How can I be more trustworthy? How can I allow them to feel safe? And do I find them trustworthy? Do I feel safe with them?
Yeah, and that's always the game. And even with me and having enrollment calls and offering to TBM to new people. Not everyone joins because somewhere along the way, they didn't trust me. This dude seems too good to be true. This deal seems too good to be true, right? And so I can see that. Those that join, I can see they trust. And boy, they come full on, trust the process, and their lives are transformed. But there's others that don't even enter these gates because outside of the gates, there was something about me that didn't make them feel safe or trust. Which always breaks my heart and makes me be like, oh God, I want to go get him. Be like, no, you got me all wrong. I fucking love you. Let's go. It's important. It matters. Yeah.
There's another framework that I want to share. And this is actually, I've gotten deep on influence and persuasion. One of my coaches right now is Eli Wild, who's Tony Robbins' #1 salesperson, has made over $100 million in coaching sales. I'm like, I want to fucking learn from that guy.
Come on, boy.
But this is actually a CIA framework in terms of influence and persuasion.
Okay.
So everybody has 3 lives that they live. They have a public life, kind of what we're sharing right now, sharing to an audience, sharing with our friends, sharing with people we just meet, a live life.
How you show up at your shop and how you treat your clients and all that.
But then we have a private life, right? So how we're interacting with our loved ones, how we're interacting with our best friend, and sharing some of the deeper stuff, right? But then we have a secret life. We have the shit that we don't tell anyone. That's deep in there. And with CIA operatives, their job is to get into a person's secret life. So when they do, they build up that intimacy and trust with that person. And then they're able to take that relationship to a place that they want to take it. Now that's CIA, that's manipulative, that's all that stuff. But it's an amazing framework to look through in terms of relationships of how, if I really want to connect with this person, I need to share my secret life and they need to share their secret life. And that's where we really fucking form the bond, the intimacy, the trust, the commitment. And that's what you do. You bring some things up to your wife that start bringing up some of those the secret life, and it's healing for both people.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, because we've created the safety to even go there. But that's where miracles come from.
And like with lifelong customers, they're in the chair. If we can share more of our secret life and they can share more of their secret life and they feel you're trustworthy and safe, that's a lifelong customer right there. And that's a really simple framework to look through. Am I building up this secret life with one another? So we form this bond, we form this connection.
Yes. And tattoo artists all over the globe, as you step into being this, clients no longer become an issue. This isn't something you have to just do like full on forever. This is building the relationships that will be returned in lifelong, and not only them personally, but everyone in their network. And this is like outside of your portfolio. It's how you made them feel. It's the relationship that was built. People only refer and want to put their name on an experience that really blessed them too, right? And I tell you, there are so many people that love me today. It's because I loved them first.
And I had a sales guy his name's Marco Cortese. He's made over $1 million in commissions over the past 3 years. Very good with influence. He sells in English, but he's German and has a tongue ring.
Okay.
You can barely fucking understand it. He sold $30,000 packages, $60,000 packages for me. And I'm like, a few months in, I'm like, Marco, how the fuck are you selling all these? I was real honest and transparent. I was like,
I can't understand what you said.
Dude, I have no idea what you're saying to me right now. But how are you selling it? And what he said to me was so powerful and has always stuck with me. He said, I have fallen in love with your offer so much. And everybody I get on a call with, I fall in love with them. So it's a natural match. He just gets on a call and falls in love with the person and gets into that mindset going into that interaction that he is in love with the person, not the passionate love of romance and all that stuff, but genuine love. That everything that comes out of his mouth, even if you can't understand it, you feel his energy of the words behind it.
So good. Oh, that's so good. And that's great news for all of you that don't feel like you're even good at talking. You don't have to be. Oh, it's so good. And so good. And I can relate to that because all my years, whether I realize it or not, it just happened accidentally. I literally would fall in love with my clients and be honored and know what this means to them. Even if I didn't love the imagery, but knowing what it meant to them and what it was doing for them, I loved getting to be the vessel.
Yeah, and it's not that they can't have quirks or things that like tick us off a little bit, but it's love that's penetrating through that connection of love that is ever present, that is all around us, that's always inside of us and always inside the other human being, even though we might look at them not in that way, but we can feel it if we tap into it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Just coming from a place of love, man.
Man, dude. Oh, my God. That's powerful. And just remembering everything you do love. What you love about being a tattoo artist. What you got into this for. What you do love about it. And to recreate your love in your best life.
I might add that to my journal today. What is everything that I am in love with in this moment? I already asked myself, what am I deeply grateful for in this moment? And I take the time to feel into it every morning. And that has been a really powerful question to influence myself. Because it transcends the transmutation of emotions that Dr. DeMartini, I've gone through a bunch of his stuff and gone to his seminars. He always talks about the only way to transmute a negative feeling is through gratitude. That is the stepping stone to love, to change that feeling. And I went through a process of a girl that I broke up with she broke up with me when I was 18 years old. And I just asked myself, what is everything that I'm grateful for? For her.
Yeah.
She helped me make who I am today.
Yeah.
And without that experience, without her, I wouldn't be who I am today and have all these beautiful things in my life. And that helped me transmute the feeling of negativity around that relationship.
As if life happens for you.
Every single fucking time.
So no matter what storms are going on, no matter what we don't have yet, or what we don't feel like we got, or whatever, instead of focus on lack, you're going to go straight to figuring out what you're thankful for, what you do have.
Yeah,
Right?
just
Talk about.
what am I grateful for? Get into presence, feel it, and it starts to transmute those undesired feelings inside of my body. I'm changing my biochemistry through the breath. And then I'm changing my thoughts, my beliefs through the gratitude. And I'm changing my actions effortlessly through changing how I'm feeling and how I'm thinking.
But you're doing this on purpose, for a purpose. You're like choosing. It's as if you're master of your fate and captain of your own soul. It's as if you got to say so. It's as if you are part creator of this whole deal.
We all are.
My God.
The issue is that 200 years ago, we were just striving for safety, just to live, just to eat. But now we're in this new urgent, we have shelter. Most of us have shelter. We have food. Now it's not how do we survive, it's how do we thrive, but we have these brains that are just wired to survive. How do I overcome that? I hop in a cold shower and say, dude, I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to do this. I'm good on my safety and in terms of like just surviving. So what can I do to thrive?
My God.
Because my brain's not wired for it. Our brains aren't wired for it. So how do we put ourselves in those situations to tell our brains, dude, I'm good. I'm choosing to do this. And mastering my mind when I'm in that cold plunge out there and saying I'm an antenna and vehicle for love and truth. This is the best day ever. I'm in that cold water and it's just telling me, get out, get out, get out. But I am mastering my mind in that moment and thriving in that moment and telling myself I'm safe, I'm secure.
Yeah.
I can trust myself. I can move my thoughts to where I want them to go because I know my thoughts.
Love that. I love that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You know, another thing came to me that I remember old shaman saying is you are where your attention is.
Where attention goes, energy flows. And we have three things. We have time management, we have energy management, and we have attention management. But most people are just talking about time management, right? And most people aren't doing it.
Right.
But like, what do I want? Okay, let me design my time around that, my calendar around that to get what I want. Cool, that's a great step. We have two other legs on the stool. Attention management and energy management. So moment to moment, where's my attention going? What are we basically went through it. What are the questions that I'm asking myself? What are the beliefs that I'm installing to myself to direct my intention to where I want it to go.
Mm.
And we talked about energy management as well. What am I doing to optimize my energy? What am I doing to shift my hormones, shift my state? So I'm in a feeling of love instead of in a feeling of lack. And we can easily do that through breath work, through meditation, through more interactions with loved ones, through the sauna, through cold exposure. So we have time management, but there's also attention management and energy management. And we have all three together. We start to take effortless action towards what we desire.
My God. Oh, that's good, man. That's so good. So good, Bubba. Yeah.
And also, where do we want to direct other people's attention? I mean, if my mom had done that, I think I would have had less trauma in my childhood.
Yeah.
I hope my mom's not watching. I love my mom.
Yeah.
But I was kind of a rambunctious kid, and she would yell, "Calm down, Andrew." And she would install beliefs in me that aren't desired for the action she wanted me to take or that who I wanted to become. Andrew, you're so selfish. You only think about yourself. I was an independent kid. And she put my attention on that instead of, Andrew, you're filled with so much love. Andrew, you can do anything that you put your mind to. So you are statements are the most powerful statements to direct somebody's identity and intention. We have I am statements for ourselves directing our identity, but we also have you are statements directing other people's identity, which is directing their behavior.
Come on.
Right?
Powerful. Yep. So good. For you shop leaders, for you parents, but even you tattoo artists when speaking to your own clients. Damn else. Love that. We create so much in word. Call those things which be not as though they were.
It's my favorite quote you share.
My God, you powerful creators, you. Oh, it don't matter what it looks like. It don't matter if it's unrecognizable. It doesn't matter if it's foreign. What are you being called to? What is the desire on the inside of you saying? Where are you going to anchor back to? You know, in the face of fear, lack, and doubt, speak your truth and remind you who you truly are, where you're really going, what you're really called to, and quit judging yourself for half in moments of fear, doubt, and lack. Welcome to the human experience. You get tangled up, tango on. We fall down, we all fall down. You just get back up. We can reset. Today is a new day. You can forgive yourself. Today is a new day. Boom, I'm ready for magic again. Oh, I've noticed I've been in stinking thinking. I've noticed all my questions are shit. I'm wondering why I feel like shit. Oh, I notice. I'm going to reframe, reconnect to my true vision, to my true truth, no matter how it feels, right? I'm going to re-anchor myself to who I know I want to be, that I'm supposed to be, that I'm called to be, who I am, who I already am. My God, it's so beautiful. You know, I've got an identical twin brother, and we've known each other since womb. He called me. I'm on the phone with him, and he can tell when he loses my attention. Guys, I was on my way to a meeting. I was late, and I'm rushing around my house, and my twin brother Todd's like, Matt, where'd you go? I can tell I lost you. He knew I wasn't really listening. And I said, brother, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get out of my house to an appointment. I'm looking everywhere for my phone. Once I find my phone, I get on the road, brother, you'll have all of me. He paused in that moment and said, Matt, you mean the one you're talking to me on right now? And I was like, oh my God, yes. I was so set free in that moment. Guys, I was so bound up. I couldn't even move on in my life. And I was looking everywhere out here for something I already had all along. Oftentimes we're seeking all out here for the answer, for the transformation, when it's already on the inside of you. Where are you looking, and what are you even looking for? right? You've already got the goods. This is why your whole life you have had this feeling, this desire of your best life. It's been placed in you on purpose. You're allowed, you're supposed to. Who are you to anchor yourself back and to being that? And more is revealed along the way. So beautiful.
Yeah. The other thing, too, to go along with that, this.
What's that?
Every material in this phone, the microchips, the screen, the cover, this has always existed on this planet. It's always been here.
Mm.
And it just took some time to form it into this phone. It was always there. We just figured out a way to put that into a phone that looks like this. It's always already there. It's just, how do we form it to make it what we want?
Oh, so good, Andrew. So good. For those that just need some tangible, like, strategies for their posts, even though we've talked about the underlining, like, who are you energetically behind this post? For those that are just confused and need reminded of, like, 3 great posts, you know. And I love, because again, this whole time we've been talking about who, out of what place of being is this post coming from energetically? And again, are you passionate about your post? Are you creating intimacy and then leading them to the commitment, right? So we've talked all about your marketing, your posting, and how you're showing up in the world. But for those of you that either just went over your heads or like, what do I do? Can we give them 3 simple?
Super simple. Number 1, people love to talk about themselves and their opinions.
Okay.
You can post a picture of a tattoo that you did, and what's your favorite thing about this tattoo?
Okay. Okay.
Passion, intimacy, commitment. You're posting up that picture, looks beautiful, the art that you create. You're giving them a question that opens up possibilities and opportunity to talk about their opinion and themselves. You get an opportunity to continue on that conversation.
Love it.
Right?
Yep.
So people love to talk about themselves. More opportunities you give them to talk about themselves, awesome. Or their opinion. Another one is your favorite client. Bring them in, shoot a quick video with them, talk about their tattoos and what they love about their tattoos so much. Could be a 1-minute video, just a couple questions, testimonial, and people buy because of testimonials. So if you're posting up a lot of artwork, you could rack up 4 or 5 today and just take a shot with some of your clients and just talk.
Yep. Love it.
Post it up.
Love it.
Going through all the frameworks I know to pick out the best one.
Yeah. I'll drop 1 or 2 and maybe it'll spark another one in you. Did you guys know great stories, great experiences are timeless? In that you already have been impacted by so many stories, even historically, and you don't know the dates and whether it was a Tuesday or Saturday when that thing happened, but the story itself is still alive, right? And so posts like this, hey, I had a client hit me up for this and we got to do it and it brought healing to him and it was awesome. A story about, I got to do this with the client and it totally blessed their life, right? If I share that post today, it doesn't matter if that happened yesterday, last week, or 5 years ago. If you've ever had a post in the past 10 years that you think did well, you're allowed to repost about it. didn't have to happen yesterday. It was an experience with you and your client in your industry, and it was fucking awesome. So you can make all kinds of posts of, I had a client come and hit me up for this. Example, I had a client that had a baby boy, and he was born with this mangled arms and stuff and all these things that he knows he's going to make it. This little baby boy's name was Bo. The whole family was praying for him, all this. And then the name of them all standing in faith for Bo's life, a family who had no tattoos. My client was the only one in the family that had tattoos. 12 family members, grandmas, grandpas, aunts and uncles, his parents, in-laws, conservative Christians, 12 of them, none of them had tattoos, all came to get little matching bees for this baby Bo while they all stood in faith, right? This was magical. It was miraculous. I tattooed bees on all 12 of them in the same day. It was a marathon day. At some point, they brought baby Bo in and put baby Bo in my arms, and together, we declared healing over this boy, right? Do you think this bee was front page of my portfolio? Do you think I was going to take it, right? But the meaning behind this tattoo was bigger and greater than any image, right? It's bigger than us. Brothers and sisters, I'd like to announce that that baby boy lived and is healthy and doing great today, right? And even though that happened 5 years ago, even for me to retell that story today is going to create passion in somebody and lead to intimacy with somebody, right? And it's showing another side of my heart of why I even tattoo. Instead of trying to impress you with this dope-ass sleeve I did, I may create more intimacy around the story of this client came and hit me up story for their son, right? I just gave you an example. Another post you can make, unless that's already...
Can I add one thing to that?
Add it.
And an identity that I am currently imprinting, and I invite you guys to, is I am a storyteller. I am a powerful storyteller.
Come on.
Because what shifts people into action? It's emotion. That's why this guy is so good at shifting people into action. He's an amazing storyteller that produces emotion and causes people to take action from there. So if you want people to purchase more from you, get more tattoos from you so you can transform their lives, become a better storyteller. Shift their emotions through copy, through your social media post in person.
Yeah, and they can be funny stories. Shout out to my good brother Nick Luna, who's also TBM family, and he has been breaking out his own comfort zone and going on video. He's been a blogger and a typer and posting dope pics, and I have challenged him to fucking get vulnerable and get on video, and he's doing it, and he's having fun. I saw the post today he made, and someone asked, and he's answering frequently asked questions on Instagram, and one of them, people kept asking, like, hey, have you ever tattooed a penis? Hey, we just want to know, you ever tattooed a penis? I get asked that too. That's a whole nother story, because my answer is yes, But I love him, Nick. He was having fun with it, because these people ask, you ever tattooed a penis? And his answer in all fun was, I have tattooed plenty of dicks, but I've never tattooed a penis, right? And he's having fun with it. What I'm getting at is you can be a storyteller and still be light and fun yourself. You don't have to get all deep like us. You don't have to get passionate like, do you, be you. The world needs you. We don't need another Matt Clemmer. We need you to show up and be you. You're the only one. We're counting on you to be you. You tell your story and speak your truth.
That's it. So one post that I invite everybody to do, this is the number one post that kicked off my coaching business. So the origin story post. Can just write out why you're so passionate about your business and how you got there. What is your own story? What is unique about you? What is the origin story? And I talked about my depression. I talked about losing 20 pounds in 90 days and quitting drinking. And it didn't really have much to do with coaching. It was just my origin story and how I got to where I am today.
Man. And you know what? A lie that's popping up in you listeners right now is, people already know my origin story. Oh, my people already know that. That's a lie. I recreate it. Post it anyways. Recreate for all the future people that you're calling in. that don't know you yet, that don't know your origin story, and may not want to know you until they get to know you in that way where you've come from and where you are today. My God, I resonate. Trust and rapport is already being built. I resonate with this gal. I resonate with this guy, and I ain't even met him in the flesh yet because you're sharing your origin story. I love that.
One more thing with content. AI is coming, whether we like it or not. It's already here. You can look back on things that you've written and things that have worked really well on social media and put it into ChatGPT, put it into openai.com, have it rewrite it for you, and it's you. It just helps you with the copy. And that's something that's really simple and we're using more of, is taking what we do and getting help with the copy through openai.com, ChatGPT.
Okay, man.
Really simple, really transformative.
I had a client hit me up for this. I had a client hit me up for a red bird, and I love doing red birds. They remind me of my grandma. Who else has got a connection with red birds? Do you see how I shared a story? I had a client hit me up for this. This is what I'm doing today. I'm fucking loving it. Boom, I'll show you the post later. But who else? I'm creating a post and a call to action, a question, without even the red bird being done to try and woo your eyes, right? So that's one. I had a client hit me up for this. I'm going to do it. It's going to be dope. Who else is down? And then the other distinction is I got to do this with a client, and here's the impact it had. And man, it really fucking made me feel good. Sharing those stories is the why other people are going to know they're safe and want to work with you, because it's bigger than the tattoo and your own skill level and your own fucking ego. Right? Ah, man.
Good.
It all matters.
It does. We all have a unique gift to bring this world, and mine was hidden for so long because of the superficial bullshit, being attached to my thoughts, being attached to how I was feeling and thinking that was the only way. And it was covering up my gift, my mission to impact millions of lives, to show them the way of self-mastery and business mastery, and allowing them to have internal freedom, external freedom, and interpersonal freedom. Being able to direct their thoughts, feelings, and actions to where they want them to go. Being able to build a business that allows for time freedom. Building relationships that we can find common ground and help each other build missions together.
Man.
It's all hidden underneath just bullshit.
Yes.
It wasn't me. It wasn't real.
Right. You hear that? So maybe what you're struggling with isn't even you, and it isn't even real. Maybe it's not even your truth, right? Create some space for yourself. Quit judging yourself and take your power back, right? This is the dance. This is the journey. You know, I've never done this before. Go ahead.
One thing that I would love to mention, there are still moments where I judge myself.
Me too.
But it's how quickly I go back to not judging myself, which is a key. It's not about falling off the horse. It's how fast can we get back on that horse.
I say it all the time. The only thing more powerful than our actions are our reactions.
And am I being responsive or am I being reactive? I always ask myself that question over and over and over. Like, fuck, that was a reaction. How do I create space between my thoughts and optimize my energy so that I can be more responsive to things in my life and live my life by design and not by default?
Yes. What a great question to live into. How do you do that? I love
Another binary question that I ask myself, and you guys are welcome to write this down. This is what helped me lose 20 pounds in 90 days and to quit drinking, because I continually ask myself this question. Am I coping or am I thriving right now? And it would just pop up in my mind when I would be watching Netflix or when I would be eating something unhealthy. Am I coping or am I thriving right now? I'd be like, fuck, I'm coping. Okay, cool. I'm going to put this food down. I'm going to shut my laptop and not watch Netflix.
Okay.
That one question helped so much to live a more empowered life for me. And I share with everybody that I work with, am I coping or am I thriving right now? If we can just start doing more thriving activities instead of coping activities, it changes our entire life.
Love it. Love it. You know, earlier when you were talking, I was trying to pull up an Ernest Hemingway quote that I loved, and I couldn't find it if you were wondering what I was looking for. But it was something along the lines is the best way, for your freedom is to not focus on the old you, but to put all your energy and focus on the new you.
Be your future self now.
That's right.
Another one, focus on the gain instead of the gap. Benjamin Hardy has a really good book around this if you guys want to look it up. But we get so lost in the gap between who we are and who we want to become. But when we can focus more on the gain of what we have done over our years of our life and who we've become, then we start feeling better. We start filling ourselves up with gratitude instead of continually looking at that gap, which I used to do.
Yeah. Man, I love that. And oftentimes, growth happens when we're not focused on our growth, when we're just focused on being the best version, but not measuring ourselves. Right? I remember when I was a boy, man, of course this may age me, but it was the summer, between I don't know, either 5th and 6th grade. He's about to go into junior high.
Abraham Lincoln was president?
Yeah, right. But I wanted to, I remember growing up watching Popeye. And Popeye, man, he just down one can of spinach and blow up. And I wanted to be bigger and taller and stronger before I was a 6th grader. It was the beginning of the summer, and me and my brother Todd was up in the room, and I stood against the wall, and I had Todd measure how tall I was. Then we ran downstairs, and I asked Grandma for spinach. She canned spinach. I didn't like it at all. I choked it down because I wanted to be bigger. Then we went outside, ran around the barnyard, and did push-ups, huffing and puffing. Went back upstairs to remark myself to see how much I'd grown after the spinach and this quick workout. And Todd was measuring intently and looking, and I could see in his face disbelief and discouragement. I looked at him like, what? And he's like, it didn't work. You didn't grow at all. Maybe I didn't eat enough. And I went down, I ate more spinach, and we did more push-ups and ran around, went back up, huffing, puffing. And he marked it and realized I didn't grow at all. Discouragement set in on me and him. I was discouraged with my lack of my own personal growth, and I was measuring myself and was discouraged. So what did I do? Forgot about it. And just by default, went back to being a boy. And I just went out and played all summer long and was just being free to be me. Well, it's fall time. School's about to start. And I remember remembering it. And I looked over at that nick on the wall and was like, And I didn't do any spinach or nothing the rest of the summer. But I decided, let me check. And I stood up against that, and to my shock and disbelief, and to Todd's, don't you know, guys, that I had grown inches? And my mind was blown because I didn't even do nothing, and I wasn't even focused anymore on measuring myself. I was just free to be, and I grew without even noticing.
Just having fun, being filled with love. And there's the compound effect of habits. And starting small first. It's not linear growth, it's exponential growth when we get into identifying what we want and just chipping away at it over time. Identifying, which has been super powerful for myself and for my clients, what do I desire, but also what is the daily winning formula? If I do these things every single day, there's no way I can fail. Like if I want to lose 20 pounds, okay, I got to eat healthy and I got to go to the gym every single day. But I don't start with going to the gym for an hour, kind of what we've talked about. We start small. You can go to the gym and just lay down on the mat. And then you start to build up momentum. And then you go to the gym a week later, and then you're starting to lift a little bit. And then you go to the gym the week after that, and you start to get into a routine. And then a week after that, you start to see some transformation in your body. And then after that, you start losing some weight. And it's just, you start small. And then momentum builds up over time. And then it becomes who you are.
It's so good. And what about the people that feel like they don't have the patience or the time for that? And I need a breakthrough now, man. I don't have time for this compounding shit. I need some, right?
That's how I used to be.
And I think that's a lie.
I mean, that is what drove me to a place where I wasn't happy. I felt like I didn't have time. But
it's a lie.
Life isn't short. It's the longest thing we've ever done and the longest thing we ever will do. When I was living life in a way that it was short and forcing everything and just like getting frustrated, it didn't get the results that I wanted in life. But reminding myself that life isn't short. It's the longest thing I've ever done, the longest thing I ever will do. And it's just about being consistent. It's simplified life so much more. And I've gotten more of what I want out of life just by like, it's just a compound effect of building up habits and building up skill sets. That's it.
I love it. I love it. My God. Hopefully something we said here today has really made an impact in your life, in your business, and at least put way more options and possibility on the table for you to pick up and utilize, and maybe put down some of the stuff you've been carrying that just ain't fucking helping anyways, right? Guys, I've never done this before. Speaking of the power of communities, the doors to Tattoo Business Mastery are officially open for the summer program. I've never done this before, and I've never said this live on the show, but we still have a few spots available. And just in the name of today's topic and the importance even on community and you finding your tribe because you're not alone, TBM is a great place for you to start. And if you're even wanting to know more about what this community could do for you, literally just hit me up on any platform, on Instagram, hit Matt Clemmer up, or on Facebook, whatever. Hit me up on Instagram. You can even hit us up through the podcast. And my brother, my good assistant, Idoni, will connect us and we'll move forward. If you're really looking for community right now in your life, I want to extend the offer and opportunity for you now. Just hit us up.
Building up those skill sets as well. That's the number one way for me. Investing over $500,000 into myself has been through joining programs like yours, which I've seen the most amazing results from Tattoo Business Mastery. And it's a scary investment. Every investment is scary. Will it work for me? Do I trust the other person? Do I trust the product? Right?
That's right.
But there was a mentor that I had back in the day that asked me, do you value time or your money more? Because time is the only thing that we can't get back. And do you like the results that you're getting in your life right now? I'm like, no. And I want to save the time.
Yep.
He's like, well, it would be this investment. Okay. Best investment I ever made. I think that was my first coach for Facebook group stuff, where I started. My Facebook group grew to 32,000 members with that guy's help. And that's always stuck with me, that time is the only thing that we can't get back. And I'm willing to invest to save the time to become the man I want to become.
Come on, boy. I'm telling you, man. Shout out to Chris Powell from 1,000 Oaks in Springfield, Ohio. Has been a student of mine, a brother for years. And by him getting in this community and the principles of TVM, now he owns his own, the best shop in the city, killing the game. He's built it so powerfully. And even he says, without TBM and my teachings, he don't know that he would have been able to do what he's done right now in 15 years. Chris says, being in the community of TBM, he believes saved him 15 years of time.
That's the one thing we can't get back.
Man.
And it's not about enrolling right now. It's about opening up the possibility of a new future for yourself.
Come on.
And I know on your enrollment calls, you're opening up new possibilities for people. And whether they enroll or they don't,
That's right.
they have new possibilities in their life. They have a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
And it's just, are you open to new possibilities in your life is the real question here.
Yeah. I am.
Me too, all the time. Ask me more questions. Help me go deeper.
What else is possible? How's it get any better than this, man? What is there still to see that I haven't seen yet? Show me, right? My God. Show me my blind spots, for I would like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just joined Peter Sage's program about 2 months ago, and I remember being at a mastermind with him, and trust was there, safety was there, and I wanted to learn more about spirituality and consciousness. And I've learned from investing in myself so much, if I delay, then I'm delaying the possibility of a new existence, a new future. Trust, safety was there, and I want to build up these skill sets. And literally last night, he did a little presentation on his offer, and I just threw my credit card at him, and I was like, it's about $10,000 I'm in, in my first program I ever invested in, and I was at $82,000 in student loan debt, and I had $600 to my name, and I put $1,000 course on a credit card. Best thing I ever did. The content, maybe not that great, but it was the turnkey to me becoming an entrepreneur. I was around that community of like-minded people that allowed me to see a new possibility for myself.
Come on, boy. My God, because you got yourself in a community. You changed your environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, there were so many blind spots. I mean, there are always blind spots for me. I'm always trying to reveal my blind spots. What am I not seeing?
Come on.
And that's why I continually invest in myself. So open. And it's not just about business, but it's a spiritual journey in entrepreneurship. And I know a lot of you tattoo artists out there, there are the ups and the downs. But when I was doing that alone, that made it so much worse. But when I got involved in the communities where people were sharing, yeah, I'm having these fucking ups and downs too. I was like, oh, it's not just me. How'd you overcome that? Oh, you did that thing? Oh, I'm going to implement that.
You want to go fast? Go alone. But if you want to go far in this deal, let's go together. We need each other. I thank God for all the people in my life that have believed in me more than I believed in me, to pull the belief out of me so that I could see even more possibility in me, right? We need each other. I thank God for Andrew in my life. It's so good to be seen, for you to surround yourself with a community of people that see you, that see the greatness in you. It's going to pull it out of you and help you see you, the truth about you. We need each other.
The people in our life are our life. One of my good friends, Brad Newman, used to always say that. And if I want to change my life, I want to change the people around in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to add people. I might need to remove people, but it's just the people in my life. We're the average of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. It's not the how, it's the who.
My God. So good. Tattoo Guardians all over the world, we love you. Thank you for your faithfulness, for tuning in each and every week. It is our heart's desire to completely empower you, to give you perspective shifts, to help you walk in the fullness of your calling, to find everything you're looking for, your own truth. And it's our honor going through this journey and growing through it with you together. On behalf of myself, Joshua Carlton, all you Tattoo Guardians, our brother Andrew here, thank you. It's been an honor once again serving you from our table. I speak blessings upon you, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.